DFZRadio.com.
Feeling so high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro.
Here we are.
Make me feel
Kitchen's
high.
open. It's 5 o'clock. I am your culinary cannabis ambassador for the evening. The hydroponic chef is in DFZ Radio Kitchen Studios. This is Farm to Table Cannabis. I am your host, the hydroponic chef. And for the next hour, we're going to be taking over your ears and your taste buds and talking about some cannabis culinary creations. We got a good show for you lined up tonight. Got a lot to talk about. Chef Keiko is in the building. If you guys don't know, you're about to find out. Say hi, Chef.
Hello,
You guys-
listeners here.
You guys are in for a treat. And we've also got Cievoo olive oil calling in. That's a great cannabis-infused extra virgin olive oil company. And I also use that in my cooking demo for this episode. So stay tuned till the end. Every caller is going to win a prize. 562-653-0707. Phone lines are open. You can get hooked up. Just ask a question. Be about it. And if you asked a good enough question, you're going to get hooked up with a magical butter machine. We've also got some good products to give away from our sponsors at Botanicare, General Hydroponics, Vermicrop, Sunlight, all the greatest brands in the industry represented on DFZ Radio, and to all the other sponsors. Thank you for making this episode possible. So, in the world of cooking and cannabis and politics, we love to keep you up on the news. We start off every week with a article basically to talk about what's going on in the cannabis industry. And as of January 2017, voters decided to legalize cannabis with Prop 64. And since then, it's become increasingly harder and harder for cannabis-loving citizens to actually acquire their medicine, whether it be county or local officials making it harder for dispensaries or delivery services to open. And LA Times did an article today about it, and it's nice to see people shining a light on this. And we're going to go into this. It's from Katie Falkenberg at the Los Angeles Times. And the article is titled, too, "Marijuana is not really legal in California if residents don't have a reasonable way to buy it." And that's, it's the headline struck out to me, and I was like, all right, let's see what this. It makes a lot of sense, too. California law allows adults to buy marijuana. It allows licensed businesses to deliver marijuana to customers. And it says specifically that cities and counties cannot prevent delivery services from traveling on public roads. Yet even though cities can't stop deliveries traveling through their jurisdiction, many cities currently ban deliveries to their jurisdiction. That means that unlike deliveries of virtually every other legal adult use product, including alcohol and cigarettes, which can be ordered over the internet in California, marijuana deliveries are barred. Now, the practical effect is the residents in some places have little to no access to legal medical and recreational cannabis products because of local regulations, which seems contrary to the intent of Prop 64. Roughly half of California lives in cities or counties that prohibit marijuana stores and delivery services in some form of opening in their jurisdictions. An analysis by the Sacramento Bee earlier this year found residents in 40% of the state had to drive 60 miles or more to find a licensed dispensary to buy legal marijuana, medical or recreational. Of course, that doesn't mean that residents in those so-called pot deserts can't get their hands on cannabis. They just can't get legal cannabis products that are regulated and taxed. No wonder California's ample black market is still thriving, and at last count, the state has sent more than 2,500 cease and desist letters to illegal pot businesses. And I mean, the more cities prohibit legitimate marijuana businesses, they say the more likely medical and recreational pot consumers will rely on unlicensed sellers. Now, that's news to our ears that are growers, but all these people that spend all their money on licenses and to get their cannabis dispensary set up don't like to hear that. So now that California's Bureau of Cannabis Control wants to clarify the law, draft regulations released by the agency last month would make clear that marijuana businesses may deliver to any private address in the state, regardless of whether the city or county permits actual brick-and-mortar pot shops in their jurisdiction. Delivery employees would still need to confirm the identity and age of the buyer, and delivery would have to be made to private physical addresses, not pot drops on public property, would be allowed. The intent is to ensure that adults in California have access to legal marijuana no matter where they live. Drones, anyone? The League of California Cities and other groups oppose the proposed regulations, arguing that Prop 64 gave local governments the right to ban commercial cannabis activity. That's true up to a point. Cities can and should be able to decide whether they want to take on the responsibility of permitting pot shops, marijuana farms, and other cannabis businesses, whether their boundaries. Many cities have taken an and wait-and-see approach, given the complexity of potential enforcement headaches and licensing a new industry. But why should a city be able to prohibit an individual from buying a legal product from a licensed business that is located outside their boundaries? We don't give cities the ability to ban deliveries by other permitted businesses and other legal products. And at what point do local regulations supersede the intent of Prop 64, which was to allow adults to buy legal cannabis? After all, the law allows individuals to grow their own marijuana even in cities that ban pot shops and other cannabis businesses, and it allows them to bring marijuana in from other parts from the state. So why ban deliveries? Of course, marijuana is different from other products in California. It's still a negative, and in some sites it's seen as negative, and it's navigating its own intricacies of legalizing a drug that is prohibited under federal law. So yes, it's understandable that some cities and counties want to move extra cautiously on cannabis regulations, but the regulations themselves are a work in progress too. There's a debate over how much marijuana a delivery employee may carry. The proposed limit is 10,000 worth of product, and whether that poses a public safety risk or theft, there is also concern over whether the delivery rule would allow businesses to get around local rule on labor practices and taxes. Those are legitimate issues that need to be ironed out. The problem, however, is that too much caution and too much ban on commercial sales undermine one of the key goals of legalization, which was to transform the uncontrolled black market from marijuana into a legal, regulated market for adults. The more California cities prohibit legitimate marijuana business, the more we're going to see people rely on the black market. And that's just the end of it. And that's it is what it is. And if people are out there and they're listening and, you're thinking about it and you can't access your cannabis, there's a local hydro store in your area where you can go buy nutrients. You can buy everything you need to get your own garden going, and you don't have to rely on that delivery law. But if not, then you've also got to figure out a way to get your cannabis, and that's what we're here to help you navigate those laws, and we do that every Tuesday on DFZ Radio.
Yeah.
So the phone lines are always open. We got some people calling in, 562-653-0707. You're going to have to wait till after the commercial break. But yeah, it's been a hot week. I've been away from the show for 2 weeks. I was out in Arizona traveling the desert, soaking up some of that hot desert breeze. I didn't understand how the cannabis community worked in Arizona. It didn't make sense to me. The growing seemed like the risk versus reward was just not there. But now it feels like California in the early 2000s. You've got the seshes. They're very mildly regulated. You can see, they have the same problem that we just talked about in our article out there, where they have a dispensary within 30 miles of everyone, and you're not allowed to grow if you live within 30 miles of a dispensary.
Right.
So that makes things extremely hard to navigate out there if you're a person looking for your cannabis. And that's resulting to a lot of people growing it on their own. And when you grow on your own, there inevitably is an excess of cannabis grown. And it's awesome that they have something like a farmer's market and these sessions for people to actually get rid of their excess product. That's what California needs, is they need somewhere for these, middle of the road light growers, not the 2 lighters, not the 8 lighters, but somewhere in the middle where people can take their cannabis to a market and maybe make a deal with one of these dispensaries on some of this true craft cannabis, because we all floated the word out, craft cannabis, when talking about 64, but I don't see a lot of that right now. I see a lot of big guys, a lot of big pigs in the mix, and not a lot of little pigs. So let's not forget about that pinky toe, everybody. All right. So this is Farm to Table Cannabis, DFZRadio.com. We'll be right back after a commercial break. We're going to talk to Chef Keiko, and we've also got Cievoo Olive Oil calling in.
Cievoo.
Mr. Oh Boy himself. I'm with DJ Pressure, man. I do real big, man. You know what I'm talking about? Oh boy.
Let's go. Drink a little, smoke a lot. 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 Drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Yeah, drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Sip, yeah. Drink a little, smoke a lot. 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 Drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. I sip, I roll. Smoking it up, rolling it up. Don't give a fuck about you tonight. What's in my cup? It got me stuck. Life passing me up. I'm getting high. Disappear into the night. I'm feeling alright. Never feel wrong cause I'm not wrong. Make them say who like Mike Jones. Make them say on like Percy. When I bring out the good weed, it go good with pussy. I'm in the game like 23. Yeah, I'm talking LeBron. Yeah, I'm talking like Michael. Double seal of pounds. I'm rapping it like a cipher. I got bills now. I got sales now. Living like a dun. Out here having fun. So I drink a little, smoke a lot. 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 Drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Yeah, drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Sip, yeah, drink a little, smoke a lot. 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 Drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Drink, I smoke, I pop, I sip, I roll. Yeah.
You don't know DJ Pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, Jazzy Finzel, a.k.a. Jazzy Fizzle, Mr. Oh Boy himself. I'm with DJ Pressure, man. I do real big, man. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, boy.
We hustle hard. Team ADX anthem. What these niggas want from me? Haters wanna eat now, you never get lunch from me. Get off my tailcoat, get off addiction, team mean niggas, team green like it's Listerine. Don't cross the squad, man, we get them off, man. We on the front porch shooting, you just a ball fan. I'm on the top back, y'all do it all bad. Grind on the regular, tough competitors, all bad. Test the team, homie, watch you fall flat. Don't want the fame, but the change, I need all that. Hustlers get your guap up, rappers get your props up. Cause sky is the limit and we got heaven on lockup. Back down to earth, street swerving down and landing. Long Beach riding to death, we straight smashing. This is for my family, this is for the masses. This ADX anthem in case anyone asks me. Oh, taking this shit head on. And the streets till 6 in the morning. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Tell me who running with these shots up, boys. We stay hustling. Catch me in the booth to the night. Streets holding tight. Grind for my life, on my life. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Bring the bullshit and we'll be dumping. Boy, we stay hustling.
Hey, I rep my team, rep my city, and rep my scene. Yeah, I'm down for mine. On the grind all the time, like overtime. I ride to the death, can't do it like this, so don't try to step. Can't move it like this, so don't try to test. Got shotters on the side of me, right and the left, cause we do it so swift, we do it so sick, and we ain't gonna stop. We got money to get, we got honeys to flip, got the streets on lockdown, so why would we stop now? We holding the spot down. Sour Diesel Hennessy, a bad bitch next to me, ADX teaming, going down up in history. Do it to the death of me, so ain't nothing left of me. Dumping off the weaponry, hold it down for centuries.
Taking this shit head on. In the streets till 6 in the morning. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Tell me who wanted with these shots up, boys. We stay hustling. Catch me in the booth to the night. Streets holding tight. Grind for my life, on my life. Niggas no ruckus. Bring the bullshit and we'll be dumping. Boy, we stay hustling.
DFZRadio.com.
Have you ever been interested in gardening with dry fertilizers? Well, you're not the only one, and let me tell you about Vermicrop Organics and their line of organic dry fertilizers. Healthy plants with a simple 4-step process. Step 1. Just measure out a half teaspoon per gallon of soil or 2 cups per 12 square feet of soil surface area. Step 2. Apply evenly to the soil surface. Step 3. Blend into the top layer of soil to avoid caking. Step 4, water thoroughly. And that's it, simple as that. Great for vegetables, fruits, flowers, potted plants, trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. It's Vermicrop Organics VermiVeg 744. Along with the VermiBloom and PK Boost, you will have a complete line of organic nutrients and a garden that will thank you with a great harvest. Looking for an even simpler way? Then check out the Vermiall 666. This game-changing mix is formulated for all stages of growth in the fast-paced garden of champion vegetable and flower growers. And check out the VermiBat Guano Fertilizer and the VermiBlood Blood Meal Fertilizer for feeding oversized, nitrogen-hungry plants. Learn more at vermicrop.com. That's vermicrop.com.
Yo, it's BKJ on Team King, and you listening to DFZ Radio. What?
Hey guys, this is Alice Moon. I'm sending some major love to the hydroponic chef. He did an epic job at the High Times Cook-Off, so go follow him. I'm high now. Sending some love, 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 love.
DFZRadio.com.
Hold on. I take the left and the right on my headphone very seriously. There's an L and an R on there for a fucking reason, people. All right. Welcome back. Farm to Table Cannabis, DFZRadio.com. Phone lines are open, 562-653-0707. We got 2 slots left. And we are in the studio with Miss Keiko.
Hello, everyone.
Chef Keiko, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on DFZ Radio. I've been following you for a minute now, and I see you've got your hands in everything from writing to media to hosting. And we also talked a little bit about, when I was talking about that article, about how the cannabis world works, too. So, I mean, you have a little bit of insight on that, too, and how the California cannabis market and the regulations have definitely not had the grower in its favor.
I've been around. I'm calling a seasoned person, which means I'm old. Anyway, but with those years, those are experience. I've been utilizing cannabis since the 70s, and there was a while where I didn't smoke, and it was when I was pregnant and raising my son. But things change, and I wanted to go back to it once my son got to college, and little did I know that while we were residing in Laguna Beach, he was actually cultivating in the hills of Laguna Beach.
Oh, and that's funny, hiding it from his mother?
Yes, he was.
Of course, that's right. You never know what can bring the family together. A simple garden can always bridge the gap.
And we were, on my family, on both mother and father's side, we're traditional Japanese family growers, strawberry growers here in Orange County.
Fantastic.
So
that's a great heritage there, too, with the gardening and then the cannabis.
Well, now we're growing still. So listening to hear you talk about what was the article in the Los Angeles Times, it really got my feelings worked up because Prop 64, I know a lot of people thought recreational, yay, adult use. They didn't read all those 96 pages because I knew this is going to come, and the restrictions that are happening, the empty shelves in the store, and everybody having to have such limit on what's available.
Yeah, so what do you say to the guy who's like, oh man, I can't get rid of my tree, nobody's buying my product at the dispensary, and no. What do you say to that person?
I'll say, did you read Prop 64?
And how did you vote?
And how did you vote?
Yeah.
And if you voted yes, I say it's your fault.
Yeah, there it is.
You created this mess. And now I think what we need to go through is step-by-step revisions to our proposition here.
Because if you tried to pull this on any other industry, from cheese to the beef industry, they would be up in arms. They would be having a Boston Tea Party throwing product into the harbor. Like, you can't tax any other industry like you tax cannabis, or regulate it for that matter.
But did you see what's happening in Washington? They're revamping the whole bill.
Because they've already seen it's a shit show.
It is.
And I mean, it was one thing when it was a shit show, but now it's turned into a full-fledged shitstorm. And shit barometer's off the charts, Leahy would say. Rest in peace, Leahy. That's a little Trailer Park Boys for you guys.
But now people who need medicine can't get it. or if they do want to get it, it's much more expensive.
They've made it impossible for people to actually acquire it too. And I mean, let's talk. And we're not even talking about the taxes that have been put on the cannabis yet. Up to 37% in certain areas.
Of an ounce of trim, they're supposed to charge $9.48 a pound. You get a pound of trim. You're paying more for the taxes than you are for your trim.
Now, you come from a background in gardening. California came through and the whole regulations changed. Did that put a stop on your gardening, or did you just change the way you do things?
We were already planning on, getting out of California.
Okay.
Because I had spent a lot of time in Southern Oregon. And the differences between NorCal and Southern Oregon are vastly different socially.
I think it's about $3 a gram, isn't it? That's the difference. No, just joking. Sorry.
But, culturally, a lot of the community in Southern Oregon derive from a lot of the people who traveled with the Grateful Dead. And what I'm
finding, it's a great community. That's the culture of it.
It's a great community. I've been in many situations where I was the only one who didn't have dreadlocks.
Okay, well, let's just get down to brass tacks. Were you selling edibles in the parking lot of the Deadhead concerts or not? She refuses to answer. She's smiling. Her smile says yes, but her look says no.
Allegedly.
I'm all for the black market. I'm all for regulation if it's going to be done correctly. We need to educate everybody so we can all get on board. But I think the main concern here for me is we need to see this deschedulized across the nation, all 50 states. Once it's deschedulized, I think all the states can come together and have a balance of what we can do.
And I think what they did was to make it confusing. They said, let's let all the states and counties figure it out themselves.
The states and separated by cities and the counties, it's ridiculous.
And nobody knows how to work together. We've seen how good law enforcement and regulations and even health inspectors work together. They just don't. And the bureaucracy of it all is sickening.
And it's the Bureau of Alcohol that's regulating the cannabis now in a lot of the states. And we see these major alcohol distribution companies coming in saying, we're going to distribute cannabis now. And they're looking at a completely different aspect than it would be if it was somebody who was actually focused on patient care.
Right, and that's really what it comes down to is safe access, making it available. And when you see how the laws and everything's written right now, it's not written for people to get the cannabis easily.
No,
it's written for one person in one county to get super rich.
And see, my background from the beginning was Ayurvedic, Chinese, and holistic medicine with a specialty in Bach flower and homeopathics. And what Bach flower is the ancient European art of medicine of flowers. And hello, what is the cannabis? It's a flower. So I knew that this was a medicine long ago, and I wanted to see access for it. And I'm glad that it's adult use, and I'm glad people utilize it recreationally.
No, go ahead, sorry.
But I want to see the main part of this always be connected to the patient somehow. And knowing that we should have this available across our nation to have good medicine available to anybody who would like to utilize it.
And not just a recreational form, but a medicinal form. There needs to be a separation. I mean, do you agree with that?
I've been in the states where it is that way, separated by medical and recreational. And I'm pretty open right now. I just want to see it accessible. Mm-hmm. I want to see it deschedulized. I want to see it clean. I want to see it as organic as possible. And I don't want big pharma into it.
That's it.
I see a lot of foreign entities coming now into California that wear Prop 64 adult use. And they're just looking at it for the dollar sign.
And we got companies from the opioid epidemic trying to get in. Big pharma companies that have, single-handedly turned our youth into addicts that want to turn to cannabis, which is a good sign in a way, but it's a bad people that are involved.
We need to educate the mainstream. We've been preaching to the choir many times. And now that if we have the chance to get out to the mainstream and share with them that every year at a regular grocery store, you can buy 3 things that our government approves of killing 500,000 people a year: alcohol, cigarettes, and pharmaceuticals. 500,000 people a year. How many people are we seeing dying from use of cannabis?
That's it. Not a one. I mean, not over the years. Look at this. There's no statistic deaths from cannabis, and look how bad pharma has done us.
And look who owns the patent on CBD.
And it's the government.
It's the U.S. government. So
Her phone's
where are we
blowing up
going?
over here. They're telling her they're liking what you're saying, and so are the listeners. And we're grateful to have you on, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. I want to go over a couple of things that you've got on your background, and we also want to talk about some of these upcoming events that you're involved with. So, folks, stay tuned. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Chef Keiko on DFCRadio.com. We've also got a call in from Cievoo Olive Oil.
Taj Money. TNT on the beat.
Hey, I got no motherfucking choice. You been? Hey, what you tell me? I don't want it what a motherfucking man blow. Gave me that pack, I'ma beat it up. Little bitty bitch, she gon' throw me that pussy, you know your niggas gon' beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no choice but to beat it up. Beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up, beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no choice but to beat it up. I just fucked around and read up. Seen that they bend up with my feet up. Trap out that bitch to the lease up. On the perfect nigga with my feet up. And ain't got no gas in it, big, but a nigga strapped up with that heater. So can't now nigga see ya. Hey, king like they wanna be ya. Hey, baby, winning with it lame man. Boy, nigga still tryna keep up. Pull up in that all black motherfucker, hot back like on a good reaper. And I want the whole thing for the pepper, cross time, a little cheaper. And if a nigga try to take some, then I'm wrecking you and your people. Hey, good gang, got it straight out the city. Big black smoking, no Peter Grimmie. These niggas sometimes mother consistent, young boss nigga, I just look like the list. Faces on me like a young nigga criminal, laces in my boots, I ain't never trippin'. Baby, when I'm steady college, she trippin'. She swear, nigga, I ain't fucking you, bitch. I'm just overstanding, I'm just tryna put her in a mansion. She never seen more money before, she used to them niggas be having. Ay, I swear all my niggas we having. Bitch, we trippin', damn. All I wanted was a motherfucking man, bro. Gave me that pack, I'ma beat it up. Little bitty bitch, she gon' throw me that pussy, you know your niggas gon' beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no choice but to beat it up. Beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up, beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no choice but to beat it up. Try hard, beat the odds, stay out of the way and run it up by any means. And for them niggas be talking like hoes, send them shots, take your denim jeans. My young gangster on the way with it low. Cali gas, they Cali clean. Like the G, hit the gas, man. Shower made a truck just like trampoline. The apartment with your baby mama. I'm the 2K, what you giving me head? What said it's a college line. Got oxys up under the sofa bed. I get jammed up, I'ma keep it G. Swear that the only way I can be. Nigga load up and sound like a bird, and that nigga on the street. Swear the struggle turned me to a beat. I remember the day we ain't even eat. Started off camping on my cousin play. Now I feel like I'm big me. Say hell, trapping with the Troy low. Say he getting by the bolo. Man, I heard that pussy nigga sweet. I'm gon' let it baby know. All I wanted was a motherfucking man blow. Gave me that pack, I'ma beat it up. Little bitty bitch, she gon' throw me that pussy, you know your niggas gon' beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no trouble but to beat it up. Beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up, beat it up, beat it back in, your way. You know I'm beat it up. And these niggas hating on them niggas trip, but yeah, baby, boy, you know you gon' eat it up. Straight out of man, don't do the leave it up. Ain't got no trouble but to beat it up.
DFCRadio.com.
What up, people? It's your girl Justina Valentine, and I'm rocking out with the Saint 562. Let's go. Word.
DFCRadio.com.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and that it was compatible with hydro, soil, and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man, I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and that was compatible with hydro, soil, and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man, I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. My blunt got a cold cut, Steve Harvey. I catch the buds with my glove, Steve Garvey. Quick to roll in the club, cause we party. They asking where the bomb at, cause everybody.
All right, we're back. DFZ Radio, Farm to Table Cannabis. We got Keiko in the building. Now, Chef, just to go down a couple of things on your resume here. Director of Educational and Programming at Coral Cove Cannabis Resort. We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Practitioner of Holistic, Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine. Vegetarian and vegan chef. Bach, flower, and homeopathic specialty. And you are a contributor and a writer for Sensi Magazine and Pineapple Magazine. And the list goes on and on and on. Radio co-host for Hemp
Radio, that was a few years ago.
Yeah. And
I primarily write for weedmapsmarijuana.com now.
So you are doing your thing. She is well immersed in the industry. So when you see Keiko out there at the next event, you throw up the peace sign, man. She's
I love
doing
it.
You've been doing it for the
Give
people.
a hug.
And you do it for all the right reasons, too, which is, like, really cool. I see cannabis is your passion. I don't even have to ask you, why you're involved with cannabis. It's,
It's the people. It's the medicine. It's the flower.
And that's it. And that's what brings me to, like, your hosting ability, too, because you're so friendly, you're so welcoming, and you're so educated about the plant. You have involved yourself in several different organizations and several different I would call these like sensory immersions events, especially with the Moonlight Movable Feast. So let's go into that one first. How did you get involved with Moonlight Movable Feast? I know you've been there since day one. How did this happen? And tell people what they're all about.
Well, the parent company of Moonlight Movable Feast, there's highdining.club. But there's Mary Jane University. And my whole heartfelt mission right now is education and outreach. And Mary Jane University does that. And with High Dining Club, it's the sensory and education of the experience of eating. And we have done Sushi Doobie Rolling Workshop. And this Moonlit Movable Feast is held on the full moon. And this is the harvest moon. So it's September 22nd. And if you've never seen the full moon in the desert, it's amazing.
And now this event's held at Joshua Tree, right?
It's just on the outskirts of the entrance of Joshua Tree, and it's at a private artist compound. And the main artist there, his name is Bobby First, and he is a metal sculptor. And he is very passionate and political and wants to be informative about our world and what's happening in it. And so as you arrive, the sun is setting, and you'll get your mocktail from a live cannabis infusion from Awakened Topicals. There's music playing, and the sun setting over the desert floor.
And when they say it's a sensory experience, like really you just painted a picture there. I mean, you're talking about watching the sunset and watching the moon come up over the desert with your mocktail, your cannabis infused massage. And what else events can they find there other than food and stuff too?
Well, there are card readings as well as a large life-size telescope where the gentleman who built this telescope has been able to harness the sounds being emitted from the moon. So you're visually seeing the moon, but you're able to hear the sounds emitted from there. We have a sound bath, and if you've never experienced a sound bath, it's harmonic tones that actually work at balancing your body.
Get you all realign your chakra, if you will.
Yes. As you're there in between your second and your third course, you're sitting down at this long table with all these other guests, infusing with some different strains that can assist you in your sensory as well as your digestion, and enjoying the taste of the food. It brings out the flavor more. And this is while the moon is rising between your second and your third course.
Wow. And Chef Sabrina, I forget Sabrina's last name.
She is amazing.
She's in charge of the food over there, and she just does things with the ingredients are on another level. A lot of care goes into bringing those really artisanal ingredients into it.
And Chef Sabrina right now is doing a big thing out at Burning Man. She has the charge of 24 menus.
Wow. Shout out to Lindsay and Sabrina. They're doing big things out there.
They are. It's wonderful. And all during this time, we have different live musicians playing, and as well as a tasting of different flowers, either with a vape or a dab or, a pre-roll. And each meal is microdosed. Each taste, I should say, is microdosed.
So by the end of the evening, you have had enough, but you're not so faded till you can't have a conversation because you're microdosing. So you're actually able to enjoy your company, too.
Well, what's nice is that your dessert is CBD infused. So it brings you all back to a wonderful balance, as by this time, you are experiencing the full rays of the moon surrounding you and bathing you in this blissful sense of delight that was infused by the cannabis, the moon rays, the music, and the great company.
Now that's how you're supposed to consume cannabis in the desert.
That's right.
You've been doing it wrong the whole time. Hit up Chef Keiko, check out Moonlight Movable Feast, and you can be out at Joshua Tree on September 22nd getting split and checking out the mood. And we've also got another event. Let's talk about the Music Tastes Good.
Music Tastes Good. This is local if you're in SoCal. It's in Long Beach, and it is late September. I believe the dates are, I want to say the 30th and 31st.
You got it, 29th and 30th.
Okay, there we go. And this is music. And who doesn't like a little music out there,
and
right?
And some tacos and cannabis, it looks like.
Oh, it's some of the most amazing chefs along the west coast of our country are all uniting there with their perfect bites. And this is, of course, it's not listed as an infused event, I'm sure.
But we know how Cali works.
Well, they may just be bringing in some kind of green leaves there. But the music, too, there's going to be a little bit of old school 80s music in there with New Order. And one of the people that's playing there, and I hope I pronounce her name correctly, is Janae Monroe. Beautiful actress, and she is very talented. as a musician. So we have a little bit of old school and the here right now music too.
And that's great. And you always support the local events. But let's talk about international for a minute. And then we'll take a caller, everyone out there in DFZ Radio listener land. Now, we've got the wellness resort in Jamaica, and this is something that's really close to your heart. And this really gets my gears, thinking
I want
right
you
here.
to come. Chef Hydro, I'm going to save a room for you and your family.
That would be amazing. Go out there into the Caribbean and check out Jamaica and check out everything.
This is Coral Cove Cannabis, the first of its kind, all-inclusive cannabis resort in Jamaica. Just to the west side of Negril, which is the southwest part of the island, is Coral Cove. And what this is you would fly into Montego Bay. When you arrive, it's along the ocean front. It has 3 private lagoons. Your stay at Coral Cove Cannabis will include your kayaking, your snorkeling, and your cannabis as well, which is cultivated by the Rastafarian Church.
So it's right there. It's blessed tree on this blessed island with the awesome people and the amazing culinary experience.
Wonderful food. And I am in the midst right now of curating a culinary event there where we can utilize the flower on site, and we'll have some chefs that will bring forward a little magic there at Coral Cove.
So how can they reach out to you? I see it's coralcovejamaica.com.
That is the website.
Then for the Moonlit Movable Feast, they can check out High Dining Club, or highdining.club, or at High Dining on Instagram. And then also on the Music Tastes Good, this is on musictastesgood.com.
Yes.
So you got your hands in a lot of pots right now.
I've been a busy girl.
She got a lot of pot going on. So speaking of pot, we got some gardening questions calling in. We're going to take one call, and then we're going to take you guys are going to have to wait for the final question, and you're going to win that magical butter machine. But let's go to the phone line right now and see what we got here. We got Growilla calling out of KY.
What up, man?
Thanks for calling in. How goes it? How's the plants looking? How's the stress in the world of non-legal cannabis?
It's going, man. More so, where was you at? I came all the way out there, and you was not there.
Oh, man, I'm going to get it. I was at the Cannabis Talk 101 event in the VIP area, hiding from everybody, trying to get my smoke on, and I got too drunk, everybody. Like, that's me. I'm the guy that can't drink for shit. I can smoke like a motherfucker, but a couple of drinks, I'm in, and I'm out. I'll be at home sleeping by 11 o'clock with the wife and the kids just crying. Somebody make the room stop spinning.
Yeah, it was crazy, so we didn't stay real late either.
Shout out to Cannabis Talk 101, and thanks for Growilla for coming out to the West Coast. That was your guys' first time, coming out this way, right?
Yeah, it was my first time even flying.
Oh, shucks. So that's a new one for me. My first time on a plane was Hawaii, so I did a hardcore, like 6 hours on a plane of just, white knuckle, edibled out. Just
straight savage on it.
That's it. So what do you got? You got a gardening question for us, my friend?
Well, actually, it's not gardening, but, I got that butter machine from you. And
congratulations on winning the magical butter machine.
Thank you. So what's the best way to go about making just, like, some really strong tincture?
A tincture. Now, I'm so glad you asked this. This is going to lead me into a holistic thing with Keiko here. Now, Chef Keiko knows all about the magics of flowers and herbs. One of my favorite things to do for a tincture is a rose tincture. I like to take some vegetable glycerin and some organic pesticide-free rose petals, put those in the vegetable glycerin along with, your flower, or you can use extract if you want. You'll let that brew at a low temperature because vegetable glycerin is flammable if you get it over a certain temperature. I believe 212 is the boiling point. So as long as you don't go over that temperature, you're good. You want to keep it low. You decarboxylate your cannabis first, throw it in, and then about an hour, 2 hours later, or if you want to let it sit overnight, that's cool too for more potency. You will have the coolest pink-colored vegetable glycerin that you can rub on your elbows, you can rub on your sore knees. And the cool thing about vegetable glycerin is it's edible. So you can actually put it in a glass of champagne and make a rose Bellini. Now, Keiko's going to tell you some stuff that's going to blow your mind, I'm sure, but I just want to throw my 2 cents in on there.
So with your magical butter maker, you can make some oils, and I think with magical butter makers, you can actually use coconut oil.
That's a good option.
And I love working with coconut oil because it is a lighter oil. It's much more easy to digest, and it actually carries the endocannabinoids within the oil further in the body. And it's a clean oil too, so it's able to release. It doesn't give you that next day hangover as well. And it's easier. I love to cook with it, so I would, it just depends on what you want to do with the tincture too. If you want to use it topically or infusing for anything edible, or if you want to just use it to carry around and do a sublingual infusion underneath the tongue.
And you can check out a lot of these recipes. They're available online through resources. And, you type in tincture recipes for cannabis, and a lot of stuff will get in there. But I encourage you to play around with some of those infusions of cannabis and a holistic flower or holistic herb, because synergistically these plants work well together in a lot of different ways. The calming effect of lavender with a calming effect of cannabis, that's a match made in good night sleep heaven, So do some research on that. Check it out. You might get inspired to make up your own skin cream or your own product in the future. And Keiko, what other herbs are good to mix with?
Well, lavender is a good one too. And then if you have an infuser, you can put it in your infuser and have the smell of the lavender as well as the terpenes come out, depending on your flower and where you got it from and how clean it is too. Hopefully, if you're growing it, it's very organic.
And you're always sourcing your own medicine to make sure that you're getting the cleanest ingredients. Now, we talk about dispensaries and everything a lot on this show, but we always like to talk about supporting our local grower, because then you can actually kind of know what you're getting with it until these regulations actually get their shit together.
And Chef Hydra, right now, can we say a little shout out and prayer to all the cultivators out there? We want to make sure you're staying safe from this fire.
That's right. NorCal, SoCal, gosh, California is ablaze with fire. So our thoughts are with everyone that it's affected, and definitely our prayers are with you in the farm to table cannabis world. So thank you for calling in, Groella. You know what we're going to hook you up with today for calling in?
What's that?
We're going to hook you up with some Prevacin from our sponsors over at General Hydroponics. Prevacin is a capsule-based product that's based off chili oil, and the chili oil, garlic, and soy make your plant miserable for the bugs. Yeah. But it's safe for you. Completely organic-based and pyrosis tested, which means they've made sure that it's safe for you to light on fire or consume. So you put this on your plant, it's safe. Just don't drink it out of the bottle because it smells good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All
winner,
right.
winner.
Winner, winner. Prevacin for dinner.
Sounds like some chili.
That's right.
Put on a taco?
Yeah, it smells like a Chinese food restaurant, but it's like really, a spicy, garlicky smell. But once you spray it on your plant, it has no residual flavor left over, and it just makes the bug super uncomfortable. Like when you stress a fish out, imagine doing that to a bug, just stressing it out till it died. That's how you win. We keep it safe and organic here on the Farm to Table Cannabis Show. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back with Keiko, and we're going to talk with Cievoo olive oil. They're going to be the ones that I use in my cooking demo here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Young Jalen Beats. Hey, I want a lot of things in this life. I want some things money can't buy. Like a girl who gon' keep it solid. Yeah. Like a girl who gon' need me one who gon' hold it down when I'm in a drought. Need me one who gon' get this cash when I'm running out. I need me one who gon' love this life I'm living with no problem. Hoes talking down, been my baby, got 'em. Need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one who gon' hold it down, who gon' keep it real, who gon' roll my blunts when this shit get real. Yeah, too fried, can't think I'm gone off loud. Top shelf, moon rock, she keep loud. Snapchat booming, got the hating hoes trolling. Out in public, she wrap around my ridges like a rolling. Rolling and dough, that's what she do on the low. That's what she do when she high. When I need it, she provide. When I'm sober, she supply. Half an ounce to get me by. Double that up and I'm making money on the side. Break her out before I slide like. Put that up on my dead homie. She ride for me more than the homies. Know I got dreams, I'm living in cars, but she don't look at me like I am homeless. She look at me like I'm a star. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly what I am. Damn girl, you're so real. Need me one who gon' hold it down when I'm in a drought. Need me one who gon' get this cash when I'm running out. I need me one who gon' love this life I'm living with no problem. Hoes talking down, been my baby, got 'em. Need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one when I call her, always on the go. Gotta get that dough, talking about that bread. When I'm feeling low, she gon' come, talk me off the ledge. Always on time, moving slow when I'm with you. I respect your grind, cause you always look out for your boo. And you hold me down, yeah, when I'm up, yeah. If I fall, can you be my crush? You so clutch. It's some real shit I gotta tell you. Like, you the one I want, you the one I need, you the one I see at the other end of my wet dream. Like, splash. Need me one who gon' hold it down when I'm in a drought. Need me one who gon' get this cash when I'm running out. I need me one who gon' love this life I'm living with no problem. Hoes talking down, bet my baby got 'em. Need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one, need me one. I need me one, need me one who gon' hold it down, who gon' keep it real, who gon' roll my bloods when this shit get real, yeah.
DFZRadio.com.
Launch crew, ready to reservoir.
What's the load factor, sir?
Bringing the Riser Blast liquid at 2 mils per gallon.
Okay, sir. We are loaded and ready to launch.
10, 9.
Okay, men. It's time to blast off into the plant's root zone and into another galaxy of root growth.
Rhizoblast is a proprietary blend of seaweed and the single-celled algae chlorella. Chlorella's abundance of amino acids and minerals contribute to its value in hydroponics. The benefits used in Rhizoblast are explosive root growth, the use with any growing medium or hydro system, its ideal use for transplanting, and the enhancement of your plant vigor in fast-flowering plants. Let your plants have a blast and see a world of a difference with Rhizoblast from Botanicare. Check it out at www.botanicare.com.
Yo, it's BKJ on Team King, and you listening to DFZ Radio. What?
All the dab on me, man. All the drip on me and Z Bentley, man. Ain't know what the fuck going on, man.
I know what's going on. We on Farm to Table Cannabis show. We're back. DFZRadio.com. About to take the phone lines and talk to Trevor from Cievoo Olive Oil. He's going to be featured in our cooking demo this evening. Trevor, my man, thanks for coming in. This is your second time on the show. Say what's up to DFZ Radio Land.
DFZ Radio, how are you? Chef Devin, how are you, my man?
I'm good, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. I appreciate all the support for the show, and I had some of those samples sitting around from your last appearance on the show, and you know I had to put those to work in the kitchen. So first things first was that garlic infused olive oil, and I believe it was the sativa.
Yes. We have the garlic, and we have the garlic and the Thai chilies with the drizzle. Yeah, that's the drizzle.
That's the one right there. And I used that one in a cooking competition a couple of weeks ago for culinary and cannabis, and it was for the Hydro the Canna Chef Showdown. And I used the chili oil with the olive oil for my Thai style peanut sauce, and I ended up winning the competition, bro.
Amazing.
Yeah, so happy to say your sauce is award winning. You know, your olive oil garlic chili sauce is award winning, and that's why I felt compelled to use it in my next recipe on the next show. So this episode we did a ground up chicken with some Asian spices like some curry along with some hoisin sauce, which is a plum-based sauce, and then we use your olive oil in there to saute the chicken. So tell people, with your olive oil, you're sourcing your own ingredients. Like, that's what's really unique about this, and you infuse it with your own cannabis. So tell people out there, if they didn't catch the first show, a little bit about Cievoo olive oil and about the name, first of all, what it stands for.
Thanks. Yeah, Cievoo is actually it's the acronym for Cannabis Infused Extra Virgin Olive Oil. so it's just easy to remember and people can
And it's
get it.
snazzy. It looks good on paper too.
Yeah, man, thank you. But yes, we do source our own ingredients, and that's really important to it. Especially to me, it's just knowing what goes into the product, because that's what's going to come out of it. Your dish is going to taste like the ingredient that comes in, right? So I want to make sure I get the freshest ingredients, and knowing the farmers is super key. So that especially nowadays, we're able to get things tested and know what's in your products. You got to do it. So that's what we do. So we know exactly what's going into our olive oils. We source the best olive oils too, which is USDA inspected. And we just try to put the best quality product out there for you guys to go ahead and make infusing anything easier.
And now with the extra virgin olive oils, you can get a couple of different flavors and descriptive words in there. Would you say you're more buttery or more piney or grassy?
That's interesting, because everyone's palate's a bit different, and I've been asking, but I try to go with the most neutral flavor as possible. That's why we even chose a sativa that we use for ours, because it gives us a really neutral flavor, but it is a little bit more on I would say on the buttery side, and
Nice.
that's what makes it really dope for baking too.
Great for
We're getting
baking, great for olive oil, marinades, anything that you're going to do a rest in, that would work good too. So
Awesome. You know what? We got something new. We're just launching them. We're doing our trial sizes. Actually, we're at a show. My partner's at a show in Toronto as we speak. But we're doing avocado oil.
and that's got a
Coconut
super
oil.
high burning point too. So you can do a lot
Yes,
of cool dishes
yes.
with that.
Exactly. And some grapeseed oil. And the grapeseed oil is going to be the same with the same price point as the extra virgin olive oil. But our coconut and our avocado oils are going to come a little bit smaller. They're going to be more of a premium product, but they're amazing.
And those
Absolutely
are unique
amazing.
too for cooking too, because you can do a lot of versatile designs using those ingredients. I mean, the avocado oil over a little omelet with some Gruyere cheese. That's just a beautiful flavor. And then you got my gears rolling. So we can't wait to have some samples of that to cook on the show for the next one.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I'm going to see you on the 25th. We're gonna
You're gonna come by? Oh man, that leads
Hitman,
me
yes,
that leads
yes.
me right into it. Thanks for reminding me. So on the 25th, I will be with Cannabis Catered Events. The good folks over at Hitman Coffee Shop have allowed us to come over there and display our culinary skills, and Rudy was cool enough to invite me. So shout out to Cannabis Catered Events and Chef Rudy for inviting me. And we'll be out there cooking. I'm gonna do a Italian-inspired risotto arancini di riso, which is an Italian-style rice ball, and I'm also going to do a bruschetta. It's an inspired bruschetta, but I'm using polenta as the base instead of bread. So we'll have like a vegan option for people out there. And,
that's huge.
So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I saw you comment on the video of them that they posted, and I saw you're looking for sponsorship to get on there. So, dude, I'm really excited to see you there. And hopefully you bring some olive oil and some of that chili oil, because we will put it to work. You know that.
For sure.
Where
Yes,
else
I
can
will.
people find your products?
Actually, I'm glad you asked, because we, for a long time we were, just out there. But now we're pretty much almost done with our licensing, which is great. You'll be able to find us in all your licensed stores.
Yeah.
And which is really cool, really exciting. But other than that, actually, the 1st of September, we'll be launching our website.
Well,
and on there, we're going to
congratulations
have
on that, man.
dollar samples. Yes. So people
What?
we're going to learn. They can learn about our product. They can we're going to send out dollar sample tests, and it's going to be awesome.
There you
It's
go,
gonna be dope.
man. Though it's great to see you as a young entrepreneur, starting a product out, bringing it to market, and watching you grow as a person and as a business, dude. So that's what we love to promote is farm to table cannabis products. And dude, you are you're the poster child for success when that stuff comes around. So thanks for letting
I
us use your
appreciate it,
product.
man.
And in a minute here, we're gonna run the cooking demo with your Cievoo olive oil. So again,
Sounds
we
good, man. I
appreciate
really
you.
Appreciate you, my man. And listen, I want to say one more thing too. We're doing and here's my time to invite you also. Even though I do give you a formal invitation, we're going to do an event at 7 Fusion in Sherman Oaks. It's a brand new restaurant. Everything is made organic. All the oils and everything are cooked with grapeseed oil. You got exotic meats like alligator, camel, wagyu, just all kind of stuff. You got amazing fishes and your vegan options. And it's a brand new restaurant owned by an athlete. And he wants to just get the best, healthiest, options out there for people. And so we're gonna use those ingredients with our oils, and we're gonna do a launch there. So
Damn, that's really chill. So it's a little pop up at this business, basically.
Yes. We're gonna do a little pop-up event and pretty much a relaunch of the oil, and love to have you and your guests there, man.
You can count the hydroponic chef in, and I'm looking at everyone else's eyes with big wide eyes. They're thinking about it too. So you're always so awesome, and you've got a great product. We love featuring you and bringing your product to the DFZ Radio listener land. And if you want to check him out, he's online at Cievoo Olive Oil, and that's CIEVOO. Thanks a lot, Trevor.
Much, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, you guys, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best, man. Thank you.
On, man. We're going to go to the cooking video in a second here. We'll catch up with you. All right,
cool, man.
guys.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
So, that's cool. It's great to see stuff like that. You know, I mean, Keiko, like, can you imagine? It's just like everything you've been involved with up to now, it's just been leading to this time in our industry, you know, where we can actually have cool products like this brought to market. A dream.
I love the creativity, and I love the entrepreneurship as well. I think that's how we're going to reach the mainstream and have it be more acceptable across the world.
Because a dream without a plan is just a hallucination.
I've been hallucinating for a while, but now we're coming to reality. And the reality is that there's good flower out there, and being able to be creative culinarily, if that's a word, is just exciting, and food is good medicine too.
That's it, and we're here to promote all that and more on DFZRadio.com. We got a magical butter machine to give away. We've got a cooking demo to go to, and Keiko, we're going to do a sign-off here after the cooking demo. So you guys sit back. We're going to do a cannabis-infused chicken wrap with ground chicken and a Thai infusion.
Nice. Yum.
DFZRadio.com.
Chicken lettuce wraps. We're going to take some chicken, ground that up. We've got some spicy Thai chilies and some cannabis-infused olive oil from our good friends over at Cievoo Olive Oil. We're going to chop up some cabbage and some farm-fresh vegetables, pull all those flavors together for a cannabis-infused Thailand feast. Let's get started on our prep. We've got this chicken that we're going to put in the freezer after we chop it up. It's going to make it a lot easier to grind when we put it through the food processor for our ground chicken. This is nice and chopped up, real easy. Let's throw this in a bowl. And then we'll place it right into the freezer. So now that our chicken's in the freezer, we're gonna finish up our prep for the vegetables. These peppers were all grown on our hydroponic garden. And the nice thing about hydroponic peppers is they're actually their own defense. But if you need to boost your defense for your garden, you can use a product for control called Prevacin. Prevacin is derived from capsum. It's a chili oil-based product. It'll prevent the bugs from being able to be on your plant, and it's also going to kill them and prevent them from coming back. Now, we've also got some peppers, some green onions, some garlic, and some ginger. Now let's finish up chopping up these vegetables, and we'll saute up some of that ground chicken and pull it all together for this Thai-infused cannabis feast. Now let's take some cilantro, we'll chop this up nice and fine, we'll get this into our dish right at the very end of the cooking. Now you could use basil, any type of classic Thai flavored herb is going to work great in this dish. So we'll finish chopping this up, and then we're going to move on and chop up some cabbage. And then we're going to take the cabbage, and we've got two different types of cabbage. We've got the red and the green. I'm gonna slice that up really thin, and after we saute our vegetables and our ground chicken, we'll throw in the cilantro and the cabbage at the very end, and it'll add some crispness to this dish. All that will round off these flavors with this cannabis-infused chicken lettuce wrap. So we got our cabbage chopped up and all our peppers and onions chopped up. Now let's take our lettuce. This is gonna be used to hold the chicken. Let's give it a little smash. That'll take out that middle piece right there. And then we've got a nice little surface that we can put our ground up chicken in. We've got our chicken out of the freezer. It's gonna be a lot easier to put through the food processor. We'll grind it up, it'll get a nice consistency. Then we're gonna take it over to the stovetop, and we're gonna saute this with all our spices. So let's grind this up. got our ground up chicken ready. We've got our stovetop preheated. We're gonna take about 3 tablespoons of this cannabis infused Cievoo olive oil, and that's cannabis infused virgin olive oil. Then we're gonna take our ground chicken and we're gonna put it right into that pan. You know you got it right when you got that sound. We're gonna let that chicken brown almost till it's complete. Then we're gonna throw in our peppers, our garlic, our ginger. Then right before we take this off the stovetop, we're gonna throw in our cabbage and our cilantro. So our chicken's almost finished up. It's got all of the browning that it's gonna get. Now we're gonna throw in our garlic. We're gonna throw in our ginger. But right before you add the ginger, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of this dry curry. We're gonna mix that up, kind of wetting it up, and that's almost gonna be like a ginger curry paste that we're gonna throw in. Then, you get in your peppers, and we're gonna throw in 2 of these spicy Thai chilies. And let all these flavors take hold. We'll deglaze the pan with a little bit of white rice wine vinegar and about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup at the most of some hoisin sauce. That's a plum-based flavored sauce. Gonna add some sweetness and a little bit of savory, and we'll pull all these flavors together. Add a little bit of that cannabis-infused olive oil for a Thai cannabis-infused feast. So we're walking it up. We've got our spicy peppers in there. We got our ground chicken, our red peppers. Now we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of this rice wine vinegar. Deglaze the pan with that. Then we're gonna throw in our hoisin sauce. Add all of our cabbage, green onions, and we'll throw the cilantro in at the end. Now we've got our chicken done. We're gonna add a little bit of the cilantro to there. We're gonna finish it with some of this lime. That's gonna bring all those flavors together. Now we can put this on a platter, and you're gonna use that lettuce basically as the transport device for this. And then you're gonna put some of this chicken right onto the top of that lettuce, sprinkle it with a little bit of a sriracha or maybe some more hoisin sauce and some of those beautiful Thai chilies. And we've got the chicken ready to be plated up. We've got these beautiful pieces of lettuce. We're gonna get some of that chicken mixture with some of those spicy peppers right in there. And if you wanna win your very own magical butter machine, you can make your own medicated meals at home. Comment on this week's recipe section, the cannabis infused chicken and lettuce wraps, and you can win your very own magical butter machine. From DFZ Radio and the good folks over at Magical Butter Machine. Hydroponic chef approved, dfzradio.com.
She say she on 3, that's a triple team. Say she on 3, that's a triple team. And I'm fucking around and hit 3 niggas. Goddamn shawty, that's triple beam. 40 hanging out a nigga denim jeans. 40 hanging out a nigga denim jeans. And I'm kicking shit, no bully. She walked in the bed like screw me. But I pat down my foolie. I used to be broke, didn't know me. Swift with me, I ain't talking boom game. And everybody hit the motherfucking floor. Got a rollie on my wrist, couple hundreds on my feet. I'm a shilly bitch, you already know. Late night in the church with the killer gorillas and thug niggas in the motherfucking crease. And I'ma throw the D real for a little nigga, and you know that your bitch the receiver. Nigga ain't gon' win on the beater. Make the whole stand still black beater. Bitch, you fly them motherfucking eagle. Bitch, you fly them motherfucking eagle. Yeah.
Got all this dab on me. Got all this drip on me. Got all this dab on me. Got all this drip on me. Got all this dab, all this dab. Got all this drip, all this drip. Got all this dab, all this dab. Got all this drip, all this drip. Got all this dab on me. Got all this drip on me.
All right, we're back. We got all these dabs in studio. We got Keiko in studio hanging
Hello.
out. All right, and we got a caller on the line too. So before we give this magical butter machine away, we're going to talk to Keiko about these next events that are coming up one more time. So let's get the dates of the Moonlight Mint Movable Feast.
That is going to be the Harvest Full Moon, September 22nd. And again, it's on the outskirts of the entrance to Joshua Tree National Park.
All right, and then Taste the Music.
Taste and Music is September 29th and 30th, right there in Long Beach, right by the Queen Mary.
And then when are you going to let me cook some food at the Coral Cove?
Well, I'm planning something for all our cannabis culinary chefs, and I would like for you to help me plan that.
Oh, my fingers are crossed, because anytime you get me in Jamaica around that beautiful bluish-green water with some cannabis-infused food and some cool people, we're going to have a good time. So.
We are going to have a cool time. We'll go kayaking, snorkeling, and we'll have amazing infused meals there while we're watching the sunset there in Coral Cove, Jamaica.
That's right. So we, at this time of the show, we give away something cool. So let's go to the phone lines and let's see who we got here. It's none other than Bad Jay himself.
Ooh.
Jay, what's good? You're on Farm to Table Cannabis.
Hey, what's up, brother?
We appreciate you calling in, man. We know you waited a long time for this call, so we hope your phone bill was paid up.
Yeah.
So what's good, man? You got a question, or you got a comment, or what's cooking or gardening?
I had a question as far as gardening. It seems like with everything going on in the show, as far as regulations and people being able to get access to delivery service and their meds, growing kind of seems like the best route. So I was wondering if you had any advice as far as good products in the garden to get off to a great start.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. When you go to a hydro store, there's a lot of choices to choose from. There's a lot of stuff you got to decipher on the back of a bottle. So it's always, safe to go with a brand that's been around for a long time, or, someone that's really revolutionizing the industry. So don't stick with the status quo of, what you see on Instagram. Start with what's been used and has been effective. A couple of good products that come to mind are like the General Hydroponics product that's been around for a while, and that's very consistent. And then you see products like the House and Garden Nutrients, which is a really good product. It leads to consistent results. And then some of the new products out there that I find have, showed clean and consistent and high quality results is like the Snoop Dogg Nutrients. And that sounds like a weird plug, but take it from the rep from General Hydroponics for years. If you put anything up against the 3-part, it would be, some of that Snoop Dogg Nutrients, because that stuff comes out clean products. It enhances the natural characteristics of great genetics. So, there's my recommendations. You heard it from me first. Yeah, top 3 products right there. And for a beginning gardener, if you want to really bring out the shine and bring out the quality and accentuate your natural characteristics. So go ahead, Keiko.
Starting out with some really good strains, too.
Oh, yeah. Nutrients is not the only thing that's going to make your product great. You got to have some good genetics right out the
really
rip.
Good genetics. And whether you're going from seed, make sure who you're getting it from is reputable, as well as if you're utilizing clone, make sure these are honorable clone
clean
people.
First of all,
clean.
too, because now this is a topic for another show, but if someone has sprayed their product with Avid or Eagle and then they let it mom out and then they give you cuts of it, your product's going to test dirty.
It is.
And when they say clean clones, they don't mean just pest free. They mean pesticide free. So think about that in the future. So the great question, you hung out the longest, you're going to get the magical butter machine, man. Who's hooking you up every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock with the best culinary advice and the best edible reviews in the industry?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Right on, man. So we're happy for you. The Hydro Chef's hooking you up, and that's all you got to do, man. Call in every 5 o'clock every Tuesday night. You can get hooked up. DFZ Radio, Farm to Table Cannabis.
Thanks, Hydro Chef.
That's right. We got you plugged, Bad Jay. We got you all day, man. So thank you to our awesome guest today, Keiko. We appreciate Cievoo,
Thank you to the
Trevor.
team here.
That's right.
DFZ Radio rocks.
That's it. And you can catch us every Tuesday night. Farm to Table Cannabis. And do you want to give anybody a shout out or give anybody a goodbye before we go off the air, Miss Keiko?
I just want to say thank you to all the cultivators out there. You keep those flowers clean and make some good medicine for people to be healthy again.
That's a soundbite right there. DFZ Radio, farmtotablecannabis.com.
fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Chefs in the kitchen and they chopping up hydro. The hydro chefs in the building and they rolling up hydro.